Hi guys, welcome back. If you happen to catch my last video, we talked about how do we upload custom indicators into FxDreema. So this video, we're going to see about building our first little EA with one of those indicators. So let's go. So here we have FxDreema, which of course is FxDreema.com. Now I'll tell you guys, I'm not affiliated with them at all. I just really like using it. And I wanted to make a couple videos on how I do it. So the first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to go to Projects and hit New Project. Now here you have a couple of choices. It's an expert advisor or a script. We want an expert advisor. And I'm using MetaTrader 4, not MetaTrader 5, so I'm going to use that. So let's title this YouTube 1. Okay, so we're going to create. So what happens then is you can see that we have this bar across the top that tells us when each of these commands or functions is going to take place. So you typically start on tick, which means that every time there's a movement, one tick in your movement of your price on your candles, that's going to trigger. So if this is triggering once per tick, we want to make sure that the commands actually only get triggered once per bar, meaning if it's a minute bar, if it's an hourly bar, or if it's a Renko brick, whatever it is. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into our time filters and we're going to say once per bar. So this is telling me that every time it ticks once per bar, it's going to look. And so it's not going to have multiple triggers. And what I want to do too is I want to make sure that I don't have any current trades. Okay, so I'm going to put here no trade. So what this is telling me is every bar it's going to look. So let's open this no trade. So as you can see, we've got our group number. We've got specified. You don't want to specify your symbol. You want that symbol to be anything that you're on, and we want either buys or sells. So we're looking to make sure we have no buys or sells on the books at this point. So now it's time that we start putting some of our conditions in. And if you remember in the last video, we uploaded the Heikin-Ashi oscillator. Okay, so this is a custom indicator that we uploaded, and it has these 3 different buffers to it. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to make sure that the blue bars are present. Let's take a look at what that indicator looks like on the chart. So if you remember, it had the blue bars that were going up from the 0 line to indicate buys, and it had the red bars going down indicating sells, and it had this teal kind of signal line to it. All right, so we want to program our indicator. Let's just worry about the bars at first. So every time there is a blue bar appearing, we want to indicate a buy. Okay, and then every time there's a red bar, we want to indicate a sell. So how would we do that? So we have to go over here, and the first thing we want to do is we're going to use this indicator is visible. All right, so that means that if the blue bars are visible, or the red bars are visible. So we're going to go to My Indicators. We're going to go look for that indicator, Heikin-Ashi oscillator. Okay, and remember we have our buffer blue or a buffer red or that teal line. So we want blue bars. And we always want to make sure we turn our candle IDs onto 1 because that looks at 1 candle back. It doesn't read the current candle, which could be moving. It only reads the closed candle 1 candle back. Okay, so now if we have a blue bar, how do we want to use this teal line? So let's say that we're only going to take a buy if this blue bar is above or crossed over the teal line. Okay, so let's see how to program that in. So we need another indicator. So right here we have a condition this time. And the condition now is going to go back to my indicators. And I know I'm going to go a little quickly, but you can rewind it and watch it again. So this time, and again, put our candle ID 1 candle back. We want our blue line to be over my indicators again. Same indicator, Heikin-Ashi, however, this time we want it to be that teal line, okay, instead, and our ID 1. So let's update that. Here's another really good tip to help keep you organized, because once you start building these things, it's hard to remember what each of these blocks stand for. So what I like to do is click on the block and right click and hit edit title. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in here what it is. So this is the Heikin-Ashi blue bar. So the Heikin-Ashi blue bar is visible. Okay, and for this second condition, we do the same thing. We click it, we right click, we bring up edit title. And this time, let's say that the Heikin-Ashi blue bar is greater than the teal line. Okay, that just tells us where we're at. So at that point, what we're going to do is we're going to put in a buy now order. So when we do this, all of these conditions so far are indicative of a buy sell. So we're going to open this up and we're going to say how much we want to buy. So let's just use it at 0.1, just to keep it simple. And let's say fixed pip of 20, and for our stop loss, and a fixed pip of 20 for our take profit. All right, so now we have our conditions for our buys. Let's use these and flip them around for our sells. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to choose my 2 conditions. I just draw an area around them, make sure they're highlighted, click and right click, and I'm going to hit copy. And then I'm just going to paste them. Now right now they are showing a buy criteria, so we're going to change these now. We're going to say, okay, here, all this is the same, but now we want that red bar to be visible. That's the first one, and let's change our name. So this time, it's the red bar is visible for a sell. And let's look at this, and this time we want the red bar going below, okay, our teal line. Update. And then, so what we're doing here is we're going to change this title again too. So it's red bar. Oh, sorry. We want it to go below the teal line. Then we'll be able to put in our sell now order. And again, we'll just say, choose a fixed volume of 0.1. Let's use 20 pips stop loss and 20 pips take profit. Just something simple. So the last thing we have to do is draw the flow. So we're going to start at the top. The orange bars mean yes. The orange circles mean yes, and the yellow circles mean no. So we want to say once per bar, yes. No trade, yes. And we're going to go to this side if we want to buy. And we're going to go to this side to sell. So we're going down two different paths. So now we're saying, is the HA blue bar visible? Yes. Then we'll go down here. Is this true and HA blue bar greater than the teal line? Yes. Then we're going to buy. Same thing on our sell side. All right. Ta-da! We have our first little baby BA. Let's just check this executable real quick. And what happens is it comes up and it works. Sometimes what will happen is you'll get an error here if something's not right. So that's just what I like to do. Then I will actually save this MQ4 into my FxDreema folder, and then I will be ready to test it. So now that we have our EA in our FxDreema folder, the next thing we have to do is we have to get it into our MetaTrader form. So we're going to add it just like we would add custom indicators. However, it just happens to be a custom expert advisor. So you do the same thing. Now, I'm sorry, I'm a little out of frame here, but I'm going to File, Open Data Folder. Okay, and this is my data folder for my MetaTrader 4. And I'm going to open my MQL just like I would for indicators, but this time I'm going to go up and I'm going to be adding a custom EA. So now, where do I have that custom EA? Well, I have the custom EA in my FxDreema folder, so I will go get it now. So I'm going to bring up a second Explorer, go to my FxDreema folder, bring it over from my other screen, and you can see that the top one, the last one that was entered, was this one. So let's click on that one, let's copy it, and then let's put it over into our MetaTrader 4. We don't need this anymore, so we're going to get rid of that, and we're going to get rid of that. One more step before we can test it, and that is to refresh our indicator and expert advisor list. So you do that by right-clicking and you look for the refresh. This way you don't have to close the program down again and restart it. Let's go down into our expert advisors. Okay, so here's our expert advisors. Now let's see if it came in okay. And it was called YouTube. As you can see, I've been testing a lot of expert advice. There it is, right there. All right, so let's close this, and let's just give it a quick whirl. We're going to open our strategy tester. Let's just go with Euro USD. I like to do like maybe 3 months at a time. So this was in 2021, January to March. And let's use 4 hour as our chart, because that's what's on our symbol here. And then let's go down and say we want to test our YouTube. YouTube. There we go. And hit start. Now, as you can see, our EA is working away, and it's going to be triggering based on all of the directions we gave it. Now, I will tell you guys this, don't hope for good results right now because this one indicator by itself is not that great. I've already tested it, and it's not that great. So here we have, let's zoom in a little bit here, and let's get rid of this annoying grid. So now we can start to see how this worked. Zoom in even more. All right, so here we took a buy. And as you can see, down here we had a blue above the teal. So that was a buy. Okay, it went up to its 20, and then it stopped. All right, but we just had a 20 take profit and a 20 stop loss. So that was a win. Had another trigger here. Okay, so that one also worked, went up, took its 20. Okay, and then this one did not give us a signal because, look, that was too low. Here we had a signal, but that one unfortunately stopped out, as you can see. So that's how this is working. It is just literally looking for whenever there is not a trade on, it's going to look to see if the conditions are right for a trade. Okay, so that's how it worked. Let's see what the results were for this 3-month period. So here's our report. Our report says we had a profit of $187, and a profit factor of 1.2. Okay, we had a win rate, not too bad, of 54.9%. And what's really great, though, is our relative drawdown was only 1.45%. But I think we can improve that. So let's go back over to our EA. So now let's look for conditions for indicator. What am I looking for? Various signals. So in order to buy, it's not going to buy it unless it's a bull candle, and in order to sell, it's not going to sell it unless it's a bear candle. Going back to our original formula. Oops, let's change this to 3 so we don't get confused. All this is saying that if this is true, it is not going to buy unless that all happens on a bull candle or a bear candle. Let's see what happens with this one. YouTube 3. All right, let's go back to our platform, data folder. I'm going to go through it kind of quickly. Expert. Open up our FxDreema folder. Okay, YouTube 3. Copy. Paste. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. Refresh our list. Okay, now remember it was 187 for the other one. Let's see if we can do any better with this one. Boom. Now this is a nice way just to also test to make sure you have the EA programmed right, with your right buffers and everything for the indicator, because then you can go and check, is it buying when it's supposed to, is it selling when it's supposed to. All right, so very similar. Let's go see what this one did. Oh, a little bit better. So that bumped us up to 207. 128 is the profit factor. 56% went up a couple percentage points, and we maintain that 1.45 drawdown. So in itself, not too bad. Just for saying we're using one indicator and we're only buying on a bull and we're selling on a bear, not terrible results. But again, this is just very brief testing to test our EA and make sure it's working. So I hope you guys had some fun with this. I would encourage you, go in there and play around with this software. You can have up to 10 blocks for totally free, just to mess around. So let's get rid of these. How many is that? So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this little EA, just as it is, I believe would still fit under the free version. So go try it out. Sign up for a free account. Again, it's FxDreema, DREEMA.com, and try putting this little thing together. Or try using one of their internal indicators, just to play around with, and see what you do. Sorry this was a little more lengthy than I thought it was, but I hope you got something out of it, and we'll continue to play. Have a great day.